seemed like they were kind of focusing on getting the ball to you down low. Obviously, the first 2 points, first 2 bucks of the game. Was that kind of a point of emphasis coming into this one, trying to get down to you early?
Definitely. The last beginning of the season, we've been relying on the 3-pointer a lot, and so we're not necessarily going away from the 3-pointer, but just trying to work on different things so that when the time comes, we can go to different scoring options if we need to.
Seemed to, in the first half, after about the first 5 minutes, seems as though it was like a 6-7 minute period where kind of the ball movement kind of got stagnant, and then at the end of the half it kind of picked up a little bit. Is there a reason for that, or is it just kind of the looks that you were seeing? Maybe shots weren't falling, or?
I mean, we got a gang of guys that could really score the ball. So every now and then the ball might get a little bit stagnant, but I mean, we're all confident in each other, sharing the ball, and we're a very unselfish team. So I mean, we'll have possessions where it gets stagnant, but then we'll also have possessions where the offense looks really good.
Mitch, I don't think you've missed a shot since you guys were in Brooklyn. So, I mean, how comfortable are you feeling on the offensive end of the floor right now?
I'm feeling good. My teammates have a lot of confidence in me, so do my coaches. And so I'm just trying to go out there and get some points, take some scoring pressure off our wings, and help our team in an area that I might not have helped our team as much in the past.
Did it feel good to finally see a 3 go down?
Yeah. I think I dove on the ball to get that possession, and I think the basketball gods rewarded me.
How much do you feel is it maybe the fact that you're having success on the defensive side as well? I mean, 3 steals by you tonight as well. I mean, how much do you think that's kind of leading into just feeling more comfortable on the court and when it gets to the offensive side?
Yeah, I mean, for sure, whenever you can affect the game in a lot of areas, everything seems to flow better. I've generally been a pretty good rebounder, but been able to affect the game with assists and steals in different areas definitely helps the flow of my game.
Have you guys been disappointed in the crowds this season?
I mean, it's expected. We've got a new coach. We had kind of some heartbreak last year, and I think it'll take a little bit for the fans to get bought in again. But I think they'll come as long as we keep playing hard and keep playing the way we do. I think everyone will come back.
Having said that, Saturday's a pretty big game. You got a big opponent coming in. Are you expecting there to be more people in the stands for that one?
For sure. I mean, I think it's our first big opponent of the year, and so I think a lot of people will come to support.
Kendall, what was it like seeing the big guy knock down that 3?
Oh, I mean, I got unbelievable confidence in him and the way he shoots the ball in practice. I mean, I kind of like to have him on my team because he's always picking and popping and making threes. So he was in a little bit of a slump, but like I said, we got unbelievable confidence in him, and I was happy that he made one today.
Kendall, in the second half, I mean, you led the team with 14 points. In the second half, you kind of had a little spurt there where you made a couple mid-range shots, and you can just kind of get into a groove right there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the amount of work that myself and my team that we put in, we're gonna have good games, we're gonna have bad games, but the main thing is just remaining confident in who we are and what we can do. And I know I can score the ball, so whether I'm shooting good or not shooting good, I'm always remain confident. And just like the second half, I showed that I'll come in and I'll make shots.
Talk about the depth of your team. You had 5 different guys over in double digits. Had a bunch of different guys lead the team in points in each game. Just how important is that?
Yeah, definitely important. I think it's been like that a few games this season. We had a lot of guys in double figures. And it's just, like I said, the confidence is building a lot of confidence for a lot of guys. So when we play the Kansases and when we play the Baylors, guys, it's not their first time, putting the ball in the bucket. So, this every game is just a building block, and we want to continue to build.
Is that an attribute to how you guys have moved the ball in offense too? I mean, you guys have had pretty high assist totals most games of the season.
Oh yeah, I mean, like I said, we genuinely like each other. So I think when we get on the court and we see a guy open, we get excited, to make that play for our teammate.
Good win for us. Pleased that we're able to come out and play much more aggressively and much more consistently this afternoon than we were the other night. I thought we shared the ball really well. I thought our defense was pretty sound for the most part. One thing I do think we need to clean up is our transition defense and our rebounding before next week.
emphasis was it to try to get Mitch some looks down low early? First 2 baskets seemed like that was kind of the thing you guys were looking at early on.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a point of emphasis for probably 3 or 4 games now. Something I tried to emphasize, probably didn't get my message across quite as clearly as I wanted to in the second half against Austin Peay. But playing inside out is something we have to be able to do at some point. You're going to be off. There's going to be teams that take away your three-point shooting ability. And Mitchell Solomon's an experienced guy. He knows at least how to get to a spot and put himself in position to get fouled. So establishing him, and he's playing with a little bit more confidence now, is something we need to continue to take advantage of.
Mike, you've been through 8 games now, and obviously it's kind of sort of a marker in the season with a big game coming up in finals week and everything. How do you feel like this team has grown in sort of this first, I guess, quarter of the season?
I think we're still a long ways from a finished product. I think we're heading in the right direction. We've got guys who are playing well. I don't know if anybody's playing consistently well. Mitch has probably been our most consistent guy, and he's not necessarily a big offensive guy, so what he doesn't always show up on the stat sheet. But the last 2 games, he's been pretty good offensively. Like Jeff Shot's still not quite back. Desire was off today. BA wasn't himself. Kendall didn't play well the other day, played better today. So just trying to find consistency with guys, and that's my job, to find the units that work best together over time.
You sent out that tweet about the attendance after the last game. How much do you feel like you need to rile things up before a top 10 team comes to town next week?
It wasn't really my intention as much as, something I noticed. I mean, I know that there's a great contingent of basketball fans for Oklahoma State University. And we have a team here that's trying to represent them the right way, playing really hard, having some success. And I want our guys to know that they're appreciated. We do appreciate the fans that have shown up. They've been really into the game. And as we continue to play better, and probably as we play better competition, I would say, they'll show up more. But at the end of the day, it's just like I tell my team, we show up and try to play the best every day because that's our responsibility. And we hope our fans will not just show up when we're playing certain team, because in some ways they're sending the message that they're not necessarily coming to watch us, right? I'm not disappointed. I knew that there would be the attendance would be down. I mean, coming in, we probably expected that, but at the same time, I want our players to know that I acknowledge the work they're doing, and I want our fans to as well.
Coach, when Cam McGriff missed the first dunk, was it pretty cool? Was it pretty cool to see him get the opportunity on the second when Brandon gave it up to him?
Yeah. I mean, that's who our team is. We're really unselfish guys. These guys really, really like each other, and that's a positive thing because they don't have any selfish motives. They know that was just an aberration in some ways. Cam's a really athletic guy. He's not going to miss very many dunks. So knowing that play would happen was something that did not surprise me.
You kind of become a fan in that moment when you see him running down the court, there's nobody in front of him, and he goes up and throws a windmill dunk, or do you stay kind of focused in the coaching room?
I don't know. I try never to become a fan in the game. I'm a fan of all these kids, though. I see them work every day. I see the amount of time they put into trying to represent this university, trying to be the best that they can and try to win as many games as we can. So I'm a fan of all of them. I really care about these guys. They know that. But in the moment, I'm trying to coach them.
What were you looking for when you put Cam in the starting lineup today?
Nothing. Lucas Gasson had an academic responsibility he had to take care of on Friday and Saturday, so he missed practice. And if you don't practice, you don't hear the game plan. It's hard to know what we're doing. So there was nothing other than that. Lucas had an academic responsibility he had to take care of, so Cam slid right in.
You at all concerned about beforehand, about going up against a team that, by all rights, you guys should have beaten by a lot? The motivation of the players in this game?
Never, not 1 second. It's a sign of maturity on our team's part. We talk about it every single day, almost ad nauseum. They probably get tired of me saying it. Every game is the biggest game for us, and it's true. We never know. This could have been the last game for somebody. I tell a story. I played in the NCAA tournament in March of 2004, and I never knew that I would not put on the jersey again. So I try to let these guys understand, don't take it for granted. That's kind of the message I was sending to our team. Don't take this for granted. There's a team that's working pretty hard and trying to represent us in the right way. Let's celebrate that. Let's enjoy this process while it's going on. And so from that standpoint, as we approach games, doesn't matter if it's Mississippi State or Mississippi Valley State, we're going to approach it with the same mentality that we want to get better. We want to be better when the game is over than we were before it started, and we want to have fun along the process.
Getting closer and closer to having Yakuba back. Has his excitement grown? Have you seen these last couple?
Yeah, I joked with him today that he wasn't as enthusiastic the last 2 games on the bench because I think he's starting to think that I'm going to sub him in at some point. But he's still got a couple games to sit for me, so I need him to be better with energy. Michael Weathers does a great job with that, and so I try to kid with those 2 guys since they're not able to play for us. But I'm really excited to see what he brings to us. I think another dimension, specifically on the defensive end, will serve this team well.
It's been a long sit for him. You know, he's been at OSU for like almost a full year now and has watched a lot of games from the bench. And so how do you think he'll impact the team whenever he does get the goal?
You know, I think, you know, in some ways it'll be similar to Jeff, you know, having missed so much time and getting right into it and, you know, against a team that people will perceive as a big game, right, from an outside standpoint. But at the same time, he's not the type of player Jeff is, so I'm not concerned that he'll just start launching up threes, right, and go 0 for 8 to start the season. But at the same time, I know he'll be nervous, but he'll be excited to get out there and try to help his team compete.
Coach, besides Jeff's 29-point game against Pitt, you haven't had one scored that just stands out every single game. Is that a tribute to your team's ball movement, or is it just one guy's hot one night and another guy's hot the next?
Yeah, it's an attribute to our ball movement, unselfishness, and our ability to understand that every night can literally be somebody else's opportunity to be a leading scorer. I don't even know who led us in scoring today. Kendall had 14. I mean, we got 5 guys in double digits again, which has kind of been a thing. We've had multiple guys. And that's really kind of who this team is, to be honest. I mean, Jeff can get 29. He's not going to average that, right? Even if he averages 20, we still, if we want to get to 75, we're going to have 10 here and 12 here and 8 here and piece it together that way because we don't have one dominant player in that regard, but we have a lot of really good players that if they play together, which they have to this point, can continue to have success.
Is that positive to you that you're seeing it so early that hopefully you can carry that into conference play?
Oh, yeah, no question, because the other thing it does is it makes it harder for teams to key in on guys. You know, again, Kendall was off the other day, and he's our leading scorer 3 days later. Right, so if a team's preparing that, oh, maybe Kendall Smith's not the guy that can score, he jumps up and has 14 points, but also 5 assists and only 1 turnover, then it makes you second guess whether we should really focus on him or Jeff Carroll tonight has 10 points, right, and 7 rebounds. So, and then all of a sudden, if he jumps up and gets 25, it makes it more difficult for teams to prepare for. So I definitely think it's a positive. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Coach.